always start with learners.
Yes.
I mean, this is kind of your counterpart here. Like, tell me how that's going so
It's
far.
going great. Listen, I've known Nate 100 years, and we actually were telling stories today in front of other people, which is not very good sometimes
Right.
to tell stories when we were younger. But no, I've known Heath a long time. It's to have him on the other side, and not only just to have him there, but to bounce questions off. Same for if he's got anything for me, which he won't listen to me anyway. So it doesn't matter. But no, it's just great. Our relationship's good. It's always been really good, and so I look forward to it. So he's putting pressure on me like to dress up because he dresses up for
Right.
games.
Yeah. You're gonna have to step
So
your
I
game.
am going to have to step it up. So
You gonna go Marshalls or what? Where are you gonna go?
Jason Penny's got quality things. So I don't know so
But they do embroidery.
good. I can get the jump man put on the logo there. See?
Of course.
On the lapel. But no, he has made me have to step my coaching attire up.
Yeah,
So
of course.
I have to do that.
And congratulations, by the way. I mean, I know I probably texted you. How did I actually?
You might have called me.
Yeah.
So perhaps when you get old, you forget who you call or text.
Now, how many candidates did they go through before they finally landed on?
Pay them and tell them there's don't interview anybody else.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I know it was at a weird time, and they were going to take some time to make sure everything was lined up the right way. So I don't really know, but it must have been not many if they chose me. So. But no, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Our family's excited about me. It's been excited about it. She helped me this summer.
Good.
She's already asked about, when you playing during the holidays, and she wants to be around. So no, we're excited.
Well, so catch us up to speed on what's going on in the program. Tell us about what's to anticipate in the fall.
Well, it's a big transition. I mean, from terminology to and it's not anything that's drastically different than Blanton's doing. It's just a different way. Terminology, the ins and outs of locker room, what I like to have in that, how we're going to travel, what it's going to look like when we travel, what's going to look like we practice, like I was telling you earlier about working out. Just the setting the ground level on the base of the program and what it's going to be. Like that was the biggest thing this summer is we couldn't get into a lot of X and O's because I'm like, we don't have the time. And there's a lot of terminologies that I'm going to be explaining terminology. So let's just get into some basics so we can get through the summer, and then we'll try to build that when the fall comes around. So that's kind of what we're doing right now.
And y'all got basically everybody back. I mean, now you're going down to 5A.
Yep.
A lot of rat poison there. You got a lot of stuff. Probably high expectations.
True.
How you managing that?
Well, I think the major thing for people to understand the classification, we are going down, but it's still going to be the same classification because they're doing away with 7A classifications. 7 will now be 6, 6 will be 5, and so on. So it's really playing the same teams in the classification we were in. So to be honest, I think the expectation is always winning, and our kids are excited about it, and they know who's in their area, and it's going to be a very competitive area. But again, at the same time, we've got a goal that we're working to, what we want to do, and man, they're excited, and I'm too. Tell
me a little bit about your philosophy.
Well, listen, if I was a better high school recruiter, I would have a program, and this is what I've been around, fortunately been around basketball such a long time and around some really good coaches. And so I have notebooks and notebooks and notebooks of plays, offenses. I usually try to cater whatever personnel I have. Like I went into this summer thinking this is what I'm going to do. And in the 3 short weeks I have, I'm like, man, I can do this with this bunch of kids. And we didn't even go over it, but that's what my plan is for the fall. So, I'd love to, and I'd love to press full court and, run wide open. But you can't run wide open if you don't have 6 bodies. And I think we're going to have more than that. That'll see a lot of playing time. But no, you're still going to see a pretty fast paced. I don't think the shot clock will affect this. You're going to still see a pretty fast paced offense, a lot of movement. I'm honestly, with the team I have, we're probably going to be getting the ball inside quite a bit because we're pretty solid in that position. Plus, have enough shooters that I can spread around to keep them honest inside. So kind of old school basketball is what I'm looking at right now. And we've had a pretty decent summer, played some pretty good teams. To say I have a philosophy, I know the way I want to play eventually, and I do have some young kids in 7th and 8th grade. I think when they get up, we can actually play really fast, even faster than we're going to play this year. But to have a philosophy with different kids coming in, I just don't.
Yeah.
the object is Coach Glen, you said there's this big orange thing up there that you have to put another orange thing in.
Right.
That's our goal.
Right.
It's to score more than they do. And if we have to be better defensively, which we're going to key on a lot this year, we're going to do that.
Yeah. Now you and Blake were pretty tight. I mean, you were his assistant for what, 3 seasons, 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
What'd you learn from him?
Man, his attention to detail is something that I wish he was here right now because I'm terrible at it. So, but I am good at finding people that can. He was great at that. His communication with the kids and parents was really, really good. His practice plans were amazing. He was a really good X and O. Again, he would go find offenses that fit his team. I don't think Blake ever ran the same thing year in and year out. And so, to me, that's the maturity of a coach to go, this is what I have. This is what I need to run with this bunch. And so I've missed him in that way. I've run into him a couple of times this summer, text him all the time, and text all the time. So, it was we had a great relationship. It really, I feel like, sometimes you're around people and it's like, okay, we need a break. Let's take a day off, or you take a day off. I said, this was never that way, Blake. It was really good. Like we would eat dinner on the road together. We'd stay in hotels. We wouldn't run to opposite rooms. You know what I mean? So but it was a great experience.
Yeah.
It working with them.
Yeah. Now you and I have a common denominator in that we played for Coach Clem, the legend,
The
Glen Ray, and at Walker College. But I want to know more about your high school coach. Tell me about you have an illustrious high school career that we need to talk about.
Freddie Burnett, man,
Okay. Tell me about Coach.
He was a football guy,
Okay.
but he loved basketball. His son was and his daughter, I think his daughter played some junior college basketball. Really was a good, smart basketball coach. And then he was another guy that I'm going to run with the personnel I have.
Yeah.
He did a good job with X and O's. He did a good job of knowing when to get out of the way and let players play. Because let's be honest, we're really all really good coaches when we have really good players.
Right.
And so that's what he did a really good job of that. And so I've learned to do that.
Yeah.
So if you have a really good team, just give them the stern looks every now and then, make a couple of these, and just let the kids make you look.
Yeah.
But he was awesome. Our off-season coach was the head girls coach, Wanda Gillen, who's been at their state now for probably 110 years. She's finally retired. She ran our off-season, did it with boys, girls. She'd take us in the weight room, heavy jump ropes. And so, I had a really good high school experience. I think I broke into our gym enough. The athletic director gave me a key. It just said, I know you take care of the place, so stop breaking in.
Yeah.
So, but that was high school.
Now you're mostly a 3-point shooter, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Tell me about your game.
It was funny. When I got pulled up on the varsity in the 10th grade, we had some really good upperclassmen, but I was probably 6'3", and probably weighed 108 pounds at the time. So I'm back inside, but you couldn't see me as awesome. But he said, we have a lot of old upperclassmen that can score the basketball. So if you want to score, you better go get it. And so I said, well, if I go get it, can I take off with it? He said, you do whatever you want to do. And so he really helped me in that of learning to rebound the basketball. And that was one of the things Coach Clem used to say, you really rebound really well for a big guard. And I'm like, well, I kind of had to out of necessity.
Yeah.
So, it was so funny that one of the first games here at Walker College, I made a 3 or 2, and they closed out on me, and I couldn't shoot it because I think I jumped about that high on my jump shot.
Could barely jump on top of the dynamite.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
And so I drove the lane, they knocked it down my throat, and I kind of fell down. I can I get a foul and nothing. Did it again, nothing. So Clem gives me the big finger, come over here, and the old hand up over it.
Talking to the side of his mouth.
Let you just shoot the ball. And if you drive it one more time, you can have a seat with me. So about 2 trips later, catch in the corner, give the old pump fake, they're running. Here I go in the lane. Luckily, I get this one to go in and they call it foul. I still get the finger pulling over. You better be glad it went in. So I pick and choose when I was going to drive the lane. No, I could shoot the ball really well. It opened up other things for me. I could dribble well enough to get to the rim or get a shot off if I had to. I was a pretty good passer. Like I said earlier, I saw your Larry Bird look. I really loved watching Larry Bird as a kid because, I was slow too. I couldn't jump either. And I wasn't 6'9".
Yeah. You're kind of the Bird of Northwest Alabama.
I was somebody or something like that. But no, I mean, I could shoot the ball well enough that you had to come guard me. And I could see pretty good to pass to people if it was the right person to pass it to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no, I kind of feel like I could really do a lot of things on the basketball court. Offensively, I was a god-awful defender.
Yeah.
My idea is if you could score 25 and they scored 20, I won.
Yeah.
So that was my goal. If I could just score more than the guy guarding me, then
the battle is
job.
Yeah.
It's the other day.
Right.
But again, that was kind of the gist of my high school, and it was good enough for old Clem.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. So tell me about your recruitment by Clem.
Well, it's
How
funny.
did that go there?
It's funny. I'd seen him at some games, kind of knew who he was, had no idea or even wanted to play junior college basketball. But, being a small town and limited on athleticism at times, I guess you could say, compared to today's kids. There were some small schools just wasn't really interested in it. So we came and played over here. We played at the Songer. And I think I had 28 or 32 against a really good defender. And so Clem calls me the next day. And he said, "I'll offer you a scholarship." And I said, "Well, who is this?" It's Glen Clem. I was like, "Oh, Walker College." And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, Coach, I hadn't talked to you. Like, you offered me a scholarship." He said, "Well, I watched you play last night at Walker. And if you can do that against these guys, I think you'll be fine." And so that's it. And honestly, after coming over, I don't even know if I visited, to be honest.
Did you accept right there, or was it kind of on the spot?
It was kind of, I was like, "Well, Coach, I'd be honestly talking to Mom, but like, yeah, I would love to do that." And, of course, then asking my high school coach, "Gosh, yeah, Glen Clem, yeah, you know this. And if you go here, he can help you get here and here." And, and then, like I said, I don't even know if I visited, but when I did come over, like, Coach Glen made everything seem like it was Kentucky. I mean, I didn't think it wasn't rough. The way he had the locker room set up and the things you had. So, I had some interest in some. I think one of the coolest things, I explained to my wife, I was going through something the other day. One of the coolest things I have is a letter from Dean Smith. Now, I was decent enough to get on people's radar. They just didn't want to sign me. So I had a letter from Dean Smith talking about wanting to come to there. At that time, I had a junior varsity. I don't know if you how old I am. They were junior varsity teams on those levels. So I had some recruitment out of Texas and Southeast Louisiana. Some of these, at that time, Texas was small, but some smaller schools. But Mom's like, "You're not going to Louisiana or Texas." And I honestly didn't really want to. Now, I had an opportunity probably to go play for Coach Rebo. I really liked him. But again, I'm not a Rhodes Scholar. I don't know that I didn't go to Birmingham Southern. But no, I'm just kidding. But it was, I thought Walker College for me was the greatest choice. And then when I got here, and again, Coach Clem made me feel like I was, like he's it. We got a big signing there in our restaurant there in Hamilton, and he came over, the paper and all, it was there. So, how he did. He made everything big time. So.
Now, of course, everybody knows your brother. And,
Brian Moses. Brian.
Brian. But, he was a quarterback at Alabama. I mean, when you're growing up. I mean, what was that like being the
to be honest, me and him probably me and him fought as much as two brothers can fight. I guess because we were, our oldest brother was always taking care of us because our dad passed away when I was really young, and so he was kind of like the overseer of the other two idiots. So me and him fought a lot, and man, we're probably as close now as as you can be. But it's I don't know. I tell kids this all the time. Like, college athletics was never an option. We didn't think about it. I didn't go out and play backyard football thinking this is going to lead to a Division I scholarship. I didn't even know they gave scholarships. I didn't know any of that stuff. So we played sports just because we played sports.
You weren't thinking about next level.
We weren't thinking about next level. And so Gary was the same. Gary was a baseball player. And
no Instagram. No,
we had a video clips every night after the game. And, but I don't, Gary played football because our high school needed a quarterback at the time because my oldest brother was graduating. And Gary played football, didn't really play as a junior. Probably should have had him play quarterback and my oldest brother at wide out or run back because he was really athletic and fast. That must have been the mailman's kid. Sorry. But he played out of necessity, and like the recruiting of my brother is hilarious, and it just shows people you got to be ready. I think Byron Holbrooks, that was from Hadelville, Alabama, came and watched Byron Holbrooks. Just so happened he went Hamilton. Gary lit it up. Played Muscle Shoals. Carlos Cheatham that went to Auburn, was playing both shows, happened to be playing Hamilton. Gary lit it up. So after about the third or fourth time of that, Rocky Felker at the time tells Trey Perkins, every trip, he's like, well, I don't know. So and so did great. This kid, little skinny kid from Hamilton, man, just slung the ball over the field. After about the third time, he goes, well, how about you talk to the skinny kid from Hamilton? So, and so Gary goes to Alabama, on a football scholarship, redshirted because again we're all physically challenged, So he played baseball. He was a relief pitcher, and he loved it. I mean, he really loved baseball. That's probably his first love. And it's just being ready all the time. Had a couple of injuries go down. It takes him 2 or 3 years to get on the field, and then when he does, he's ready to play. Mm-hmm. And it's an amazing story. It really is. But no, it's like any other sibling. Now it was weird when he was actually playing, and you're seeing him on TV, and then there's people interviewing him, and it's like, well, this is my brother. Like, why are you people waiting around to talk to him? But he was great. He's still great about it this day. I mean, you talk to him. He don't like talking about a lot of things he did, but yeah, it was real interesting growing up in a house with an SEC quarterback. And then my oldest brother played some DB at UNA at the time when he got out of school. So I've always had great role models to look up to athletically because they were always really good. And so that's who I tried to pattern myself. If I could be as good as my brothers in sports, I could do okay. But yeah, then the whole college thing, we just didn't think about it.
Now, you had a couple of really funny stories from the Walker College days of Coach Clem. One of them when he was giving a tour. Were you giving a tour of campus?
I was actually okay. I did come to campus then. Okay. So I was on campus. We were up in the dorms. God rest the dorm soul for not being there anymore.
Murphy Hall.
So we're walking down toward the guys' section.
This is on your recruiting visit.
Yes,
okay, so you did go on recruiting.
So I guess I did go on. And it might have been after might have been my first, when you check in and doing all. I mean, that's what it was. It was 107 years ago. I don't remember. But they said, those big pillars they would have. And so one of the guys was like, now if you sneak in late, you got to be careful. Because that crazy SOB might just be behind one of these pillars and he jumps out and goes, I am free, And then just grabs me by the neck, and I was like, "Let's show you around." He was hiding up there. So I mean, it's just stuff like that all the time. We'd be grinding through a hard season, and January it gets tough. And Clem would call everybody in. It's like everybody gather around 3-point line. So you gather, and he sits down, hand me a ball. So if I make the shot, their practice is over. Of course, what coach hadn't said that? Yeah, I'm going to hit the concession stand with it because we're going to practice, and he'd make it. And he's like. What? We can go to the dorm like we're done. So there's so many things about Clem, the travel, the how he responded to what kids did, and scared to death to look up in the corner and see his light flick off because he's coming downstairs. You better be getting ready. So it's just endless. There
was this dynamic with him that was like he was so funny, but then you're also scared of him. Yes. Like in talking to Fred Jonigan, when we had the documentary,
which was awesome. That thing was awesome. Y'all did. Well, you were the star. I wasn't, but still, it was great.
But he said it wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, it's one of the most physically demanding things that I've ever done in my life. Yeah. But there was this it was like a vaudeville routine almost. There was just elite comedy. But then there was this fear, because like you said, I mean, you look up in that window and you see him coming. It's like, look out.
He held court every week. I mean, he did it from the time he woke up to the time he went to bed. I didn't know this at the time, but now that I'm coaching and back here in Jasper, the things he would go into town and he would have coffee in 20 different places every day. But that's how he got support to come watch guys play. And he just was constantly on, all the time. And it was either being funny or being stern, and he could turn it on just like that. He was
putting on a show all the time.
He was, and I've had a lot of coaches. I've been playing organized sports probably since I could walk. But he sticks out your head. And I've been around some really good coaches, some really successful coaches. Not played for every one of them, but man, there's something about him. And then to watch the documentary of how he like he touched families. Like he changed.
Mhm.
I mean, our parents are giving their kids to him, and
Mhm.
he was going to take care of you, and would demand you come to breakfast because he knew how important, eating and getting bigger and all these things were in time. And there's just, I can go down a list of everything that he made important that I can look back and go, well, that's why it's important to me because it was important to him. And that kind of, just like I said, being on all the time, just looking back at it now, it's unbelievable.
I just remember there's so many times where, we would get done with basketball practice and then we'd have to walk to the cafeteria.
100%.
There were a number of times I could not walk to the cafeteria.
Or
it was that fast.
Or pick the fork up you need.
Yeah. The only reason why we got out of practice was because the cafe had closed.
There's numerous times I remember him telling.
Yeah.
I'll send a manager over there and tell him to wait because we're not finished. And you would.
Yeah.
But again, to me, just and like even in games, like I do it a lot with referees now because of him. Like he could be so stern 1 minute and turn around and have to egg it up with the ref, and then turn and shoot the ref in the same trip, and they could. He was unbelievable. Like he should have been mic'd up. If he would, can you imagine him being mic'd up? Like I just can't imagine. I cannot imagine.
It's just, now he also was afraid that you were going to transfer one time. Tell that story.
Well, a good friend of mine, still a good friend to this day, Coach Rick Bowen, me and his brother Rob, same age, grew up together. I stayed at his house. He said, like, really, really good friends to this day. So Rick got the Bevill job at Fayette, and again, I've known Rick since I was 5 years old. And so I don't know that I'm sure Rick wanted me to come to Fayette, and I don't know that I had talked to somebody about, hey, Rick's wanted me to come, because who doesn't want to be wanted,
Right.
So, but I started as a freshman, and so coming back from my sophomore year, Coach Glen calls me up in the, hey, heard a little rumor in the rumor mill swirling, and I'm like, well, what's the rumor mill? I'm 19 years old, and heard you might be wanting to go to Bevill, play for Bowling. Fayette. You did, yeah, Fayette. And I said, no, coach. I said, no, I never want to leave Walker College like that. That's my family friend. He goes, well, good, because you wouldn't be released. Because I didn't sign release for the transfer. Not like today when you change, you can transfer schools from breakfast to lunch. But yeah, that and just having his ear to everything. And like I said again, I don't know that I even spoke that out. Other than to just have the buddy want me to come to Fayette. And my best friend was playing for his brother. So yeah, I've been playing with my best friend, being coached by somebody I grew up with. But it really wasn't. It was never a thought of going anywhere and leaving Walker.
Now, who are some of the guys on the team that you were closest with?
Oh man. I was roommate with Michael Crutcher, who I hate couldn't come down to the thing. He was from Elkmont. And then I was roommates a year with Ron Ward, who's from Akron. And the great thing, and this is what I love about Coach Clem, and to hearing all the things during the documentaries of guys just talking when we weren't filming, to put white guys and black guys together and do that. I'd say then because it was 91, 92, but it was just typically it was like, okay, I hate to be that way. White guys are going to room with white guys, black guys. He didn't think that way. And I grew up not thinking that way. And so it was just normal to me. It didn't bother me to have a black roommate. Sure didn't bother him to have a white roommate. And the things you learn from one another just in talking, to hear things that, he wasn't my roommate, but to hear things Roger Crawford would have to grow up in and the things he would see, I'm going, never saw crap like that. How do you function in your life like that? So it gives you, he would do things like that. I don't know if he did it on purpose. He probably did, to see a perspective from another individual that, again, shapes your life in a way of, well, I'm not just going to look at this person as their skin color or what they do or their mom and dad does or what they don't do, but to know who they are and to know they deal with stuff just like I deal with stuff. And so, man, I had best haircut I ever had was from Jeff Terry from Dora. God, he could cut my hair so good. If I could get him, Jeff, I need a haircut, man. I had to fix my bald spot, but nothing to it. Guys that cut your hair and hang out in a room, everybody's door would be open. And it's funny because my daughter's at UH, and so go to her first year, she had to stay in the dorm, and all these dorm rooms are shut off. And I'm like, dude, if we had a dorm this size, every door would be wide open. And so he just. But I think just like we were talking earlier about the phone things, we just didn't have to deal with all that. So it was going and sitting in the room and because we couldn't afford cable, and watching whatever VHS tape somebody had.
Yeah.
Moving in 7 times.
Yeah.
Our time it was Scarface. That's what we watch Scarface 700 times a week because there was nothing else we could watch.
Yeah.
That or highlight. If you remember highlights,
Oh, yeah.
that, you know, that Michael Jordan and those guys had. So that's what we would spend time doing.
You know, I'd say probably one of the biggest signings would have been Roger Crawford with Arkansas. I mean, that was one of the biggest in Walker College history. I mean, when you think about players that went on to the next
He
level.
won a championship.
Yeah. Yeah. What was it like playing with him?
Oh, it's amazing. And Roger was such a good guy. Like when I first got there, you know, again, growing up in Hamilton, I think I was second team All-State. And on the first and second team All-States was named like Roger Crawford. Well, Roger Crawford is what the same. Theodore Ratliff that played in the NBA. Jason Caffey played in the NBA. Wade Kaiser, who was Mr. Basketball. And so,
Best Stadium.
yeah, all these guys. And so I'd heard of Roger Crawford, but you come in the gym and you see this little 6'4" skinny guy, and I'm like, he can't be that. I've never seen a guy other than Latrell Sprewell move so smoothly on a basketball court, and Roger's hands were so big. Roger could just be dribbling and pick a ball up and do whatever he went to with it. And so, again, being a horrible defensive player, after about a month, I'm like, hey, after practice, we need to play one-on-one because if I can at least maybe keep you in front of me, I can go to anybody. And he was amazing to be around and to see his athleticism. But not just that, Roger worked really hard on his game. And then so they'll see him go to Arkansas and still do the things that, and again, he was the man for us, but to go to Arkansas and run point guard and fill a position because you had Carl Williamson and Scotty Thurman to go in there and fill a role and play that too. It was like, wow, this guy he should be the one taking the shot. It's not, not whoever, but he did a really good job. But man, he was good. He was really good.
You mentioned Mia, and I want to talk. You were able to coach your daughter at Jasper and win a state title with her. So talk about that. I want to know kind of the challenges of that, and then what's your favorite part about coaching her?
Well, it's that all coaching her from 7th grade to she graduated was such a blur, and you don't really have time to think about what all happened and went through. Even at her signing, we had a signing for her and Adasia. Adasia was there. I think they did their signing at the same time with Adasia going to Wallace. But I don't think you have time to put in perspective what she had to go through as a kid. I know I didn't. And I didn't give her enough props to do that. To do what she did as a kid, from being the manager and being around these kids, and all of a sudden you're thrown in there with them, and the head coach is your dad. And now he's giving you the ball to run offense and to score. I can't imagine what that was being like. Now, for me, it was to have her on the sideline was amazing. Her basketball knowledge is unbelievable. Herself is even better than an athlete that she is. But if I could start all over again and do it again, I'd do it again because it was so fun to have the interaction. You know how you have a coach and player interaction of. I'll never forget we were playing Anion in a sub-region game when she was in the 9th grade, I think. And we were losing. One of the first times we got out of the playoffs, I think, in probably 20-something years in Hamilton. And so we're out of the playoffs on a sub-region game. We're hosting Anion. And they're double teaming her when she comes off a screen. And they're doing this, they're doing that. They hold her in check pretty good. And like, she's our offense. We had a couple of kids could shoot. A couple of kids could rebound. And she comes to the sideline and she goes, drop one of those screens off. There's too many people up there. Now she's a 9th grader. And I'm going, get out of my face. Just get back out there and run by. And so during a free throw. And as I'm thinking about it, I'm going, well, she's right.
Yeah.
There's 2 people setting screens. There's 2 people guarding screens. And the person guarding her, the whole court's right there in her way. So we took a screen off in the 3rd quarter. She had 25 points in the 3rd quarter as a 9th grader. Against 4A Anion, and we go on to win and go on to the playoffs out of the sub-state. So just stories like that I can go on all the time about. But the biggest thing to me is I can't imagine the pressure she had on her every day to be the coach's kid, to be expected to be first at practice, the last one to stay. Got to watch how you act in public.
Yeah.
Because we all do that as athletes. We all do that. But your dad's not always coaching. And so anything you do is not going to reflect you. It's going to reflect your dad. And it's going to reflect your program. So I can't imagine the things that she had to go through That was great. I don't think she'd sit here and say it was awful. But man, I respect her so much for that and to see the things that she does. But oh man, I had a good friend of mine, Mike Davis, that coached basketball forever, still coaching. When I was talking to him about going to the girls' side, and I said, I got an opportunity, and I think I might be able to coach my daughter one day. Well, he coached his sons. He said, Vess, you'll never regret it. He said, it'll be one of the best things y'all get to share forever. And it has been. It's been awesome to the point where, like this summer, she helped me coach, and she's wanting to, when she graduates, come back and hopefully help me coach too, which would be awesome.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's been awesome, and her high school career was absolutely amazing. It was amazing.
And I know how good a coach Alan Sharp is at UAH. I mean, when I was at Bevill, he was beating my brains out as the head coach at Wallace. They had the Wallace and Shelton had the two top teams. When I was coaching, and so he does a great job. He's very thorough.
He's pushed her in places I don't think as a dad I could. Just for the simple fact that I leaned on her for so many things offensively. There for about probably half a season as an 8th grader, I let her get through the 7th grade. I was harping on guarding and creating offense for other people. And she's like, Dad, I can't play that hard on defense, play in 32 minutes. Mm-hmm. And she never came out of the game. Mm-hmm. And so looking back on that, I probably did her a huge misjustice by not making her a better defensive player. And Coach Sharp's done a great job of that. Her mentality, thinking out which hand to close out with, where we're trying to push the defense and his team. It's and also helped her grow as a coach, even by coaching her that way, because now she's thinking of things in her mind of, well, when I get a team, what's my philosophy going to be defensively? And he's awesome. His practice, if you can get through an Alan Sharp practice, man, you can male or female. Mm-hmm. Great story. I was down at the summer conference this year. He's giving a speech or he's talking in one of those little 90-minute sessions. And so I go in there just to support him and watch. And so he's doing some plays, doing some drills, and has Huntington's basketball kids up doing them. Well, he tells 30 kids just to sit down. You're not going hard enough. And he's not even coaching those kids. Of course, the Huntington coach was loving it.
Yeah.
But he asked me when he had asked me to come up there, he said, does she mind being coached hard? And he said, I know coach's kids. You probably go harder on her than anyone. I said, no, you coach her as hard as she wants to. And he said, well, I coach girls like guys. So it's the same ball, same rules. So we're going to, he does an amazing job, but it's really helped her become a better defensive player.
Yeah. Now, I know she was rooming with Ivy Maddox, right?
Still is.
Okay.
Still is.
Well, so her dad, this is how old we are.
It's crazy.
Did you know that?
Yeah,
That's Jody?
Until the thing, and I come over to the Bevill's new gym, and I saw his picture there. I'm like, that's Jody.
Yeah.
And I remember Jody.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
He played with me at Walker College.
That's crazy.
That's full circle.
And it's nuts. And that's all. And I'm older than you, by the way.
Yes, you are. And I reminded you of that. So I'm going to continue to. Okay. Now I want to remind you of something else.
Okay.
I did some research here because I was preparing for this episode.
Oh.
Now, faith.
Yes.
We want to talk about faith, and this is a Facebook post from 2024. You probably don't know where this is going.
No, I do not.
You may not have been on Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook.
Okay.
I don't really do a lot of social.
This is what it says. It says 27 years married after 10 years dating. So 37 years total.
Yeah.
We can't be that old. God has blessed us with so much. It's overwhelming when I think back over the years how faithful He has been. We've had the better and worse, the sickness and health, the richer and the poorer, and we are still here. Vess is full of patience, laughter, and loyalty, and he just keeps getting more handsome. He just keeps getting more handsome.
Yeah. Well, that's where she's right on the rest now. That's rough. You shouldn't have told me that stuff. Man, I don't even know where to start with her, and I'll probably get choked up talking about her. She's probably been my best friend. She has been my best friend through my entire life, and like she said, she's seen the good, the bad. Most people in public get to see the funny best and all the time joking around. She probably gets to see the one that gets depressed, gets angry, shuts himself off at times, and she's just still right there.
Yeah,
man, she's such an unbelievable wife. Can't imagine helping another person to be the mom of my child, and so I can't. There's not enough time in here to go over how much she means to me and how she stayed around me all these years because I'm not the easiest person to live with. But it's like I was telling you earlier with Coach Clem, you as a, and I know we're coaches, I'm not really a public figure, but you see me a lot in places, and you do always have to be cheerful around people, and they do want to speak to you, and you can't be I want to talk to you. So you are talking to a lot of folks, and I do like talking to a lot of people. But there's times when I get home, I want to talk to anybody, including my wife, and she understands that, and she knows when to broach and when not to, and she knows when to go, hey, you're acting like a turd.
Yeah.
Or you need to go speak to them, or hey, it's okay if you just want to sit here in silence. And I can't, well, we've been married for it's be 30 years pretty soon.
Yeah.
And it's can't imagine being married to anybody else. We were good friends in the 6th, 7th grade. When we were in school together, we actually moved to Hamilton in the 2nd grade at the same time. And circumstances brought us there. I say circumstances, the Lord had brought us to that. So there's not enough words I can say on that lady. She is, man, and not to mention, she's just the hottest thing in the world. She's beautiful. So, of course, I mean,
of course,
she's got to be beautiful.
Yeah.
But no, she's such an amazing person. Her spiritual walk has influenced me. If you can pray anybody out of hell, she's probably done it. She's led by example. She's led by the iron fist.
Yeah.
There's not enough good things that I can say about her. And I'm glad you asked that because nobody talks enough about her.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about my brothers or Mia or, my nephew played a little football at Furman and Faulkner, and I have a nephew that played UH. Everything's always, at me and outside, or Mia and outside, or brothers and outside. And it's never about her.
Mm-hmm.
Man, she's come to games and she's traveled to AAU games, and she's been okay with me sitting there at a coffee table looking at film. I'm going on to bed, come to bed when you. So there's not enough time to talk about how much she means to me. I couldn't do anything in the world that I've done without her support and her being just constantly. She's constant. Sorry.
All right. What's been the biggest challenge for you? And then the second question is, what are you most proud of?
Man, biggest challenge is being this good looking.
Yeah.
And having to be out in public.
And have those legs.
Well, let's do golf. That's another thing she loves. You play a lot of golf. Yeah. So, biggest challenge, man. I think, and I heard Michael Jordan say this one time, I think living up to your own expectations is hard. Because there's even things I wanted to do this summer with the team that I feel like I let it down a bit into. And I think it was a great summer. I think we were a little over 500 in the games we played, which I was trying to play every kid, so I didn't really worry about winning and losing. I think it's the expectations I put on myself in certain areas, and I feel like I'll either be really good in this area and I'll lack in this area, and or vice versa. It's hard. It's really hard when you have expectations and on yourself. I think one of the biggest challenges as a coach, and I had to learn this the more I coached, because I was awful at it when I first started coaching. I just assumed a kid would have the same mentality I'd have. So what do you mean you can't? Like I tell a kid, I never forget this. This is probably 10 years ago. I was teaching D at Hamilton, and the kid said, Coach, how do I get to where I can shoot the ball as good as you do? And I'm like, easy. You just make 1,500 shots a day, and you don't ever stop. You do it every day. He goes, what you mean make 15? I said, you make 1,500. If you're a good shooter, you're shooting 1,000. You're shooting 3,000. Well, you ain't got enough time to do that in a day. I said, of course I don't. I do 2 or 3 sessions. I'm like, I can't expect a kid. I would think, why would you not want to do that? If you're going to be a good shooter, why would you not go do that? And so early on, I had this kids trying to have the same expectations I would have for myself. And it doesn't work that way. And so you got to find ways to work around that. But yeah, to me, the hardest would be, I think, what I'd put on myself. Mm-hmm.
And then what are you most proud of?
Man, most proud of my family. It's nothing athletically at all. Just my family. Just to, to look at your wife and your daughter from a distance and see the things that they've done. Like my wife's involved in this ladies group, church group that's been going on for 30 plus years. They do retreats twice a year and bring people in that haven't had a chance to hear the gospel or have had a rough life, and to try to give them a chance to hear the gospel. She does things like that. She does things with small ladies groups. She's just started hiking, and she's hiking and bringing in older people to hike and do things. And then with Mia, just to see how she interacts with adults and people. And then my brothers, I can't just so proud of my family. That's the biggest pride I have is just, the things that our family's been through at times. With the passing of our dad and then, our mom trying to raise three boys. It frustrates me at times because, and listen, everybody has problems in this day and age. You hear people going through life. I got hooked on drugs because I had a bad home life, or I had to be hooked on drugs, or I beat my wife because I had a bad home life. Well, we all have bad home lives. Everybody's got something in their life that's not. But to watch how my brothers responded and even how my mom responded, and my wife's had a lot of the same things go in her life too, and to see how those people around me respond, it's like, family just blows me away. There's nobody I'd rather spend time with. Play golf with my brother, like cooking out with my oldest brother, and Faith's trying to get me into hiking, but I don't know about this heat. It's hard to hike in this heat. Mia still plays golf with her old dad. She won't let me get in the gym when she does shooting because obviously she can't outshoot me, so she don't want to, she don't want to bring herself down. But no, man, I think I'm the most proud of my family.
Yeah. Do you think some of that quietness that you have is because of your dad?
I think so. Now, my granddad, who I'm named after, Vester, he was a ham. Now, he would fit right in with these two knuckleheads here, I promise you. But my dad was that way in a quiet. He had joking, from what I can remember. He passed away when I was 7. He was a real stern guy, but man, did he love to cut up and pull pranks on folks. But I think to see how my mom responded in a quiet, reserved way of what happened to my dad, and then to see how my brothers had responded in ways, and I don't know. I just think, we're a product of kind of what we see at times, and we respond kind of ways of people that we see respond. So I think that's some of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this a lot publicly, and I've had a lot of childhood trauma related to my dad, and it was different. I mean, sure, you didn't have your dad.
Sure,
my dad was probably too present.
right.
When he's at every basketball practice.
Sure.
And criticize it on the way home.
Sure.
So, that was, but
that's hard to do with dads because listen,
yeah.
I coached mine and I criticized them too. And we don't want to cut you off, but we made a rule. We're not talking about basketball or basketball teams. So
well, there's a difference between criticizing and everything being personal.
Sure.
I mean, like everything is personal.
Yeah.
Like why didn't I get the rebound? And
sure.
The guy that got the rebound is 6'9" and can jump out.
I think had probably a 42 inch bar.
Right. And I didn't get it because I was a coward. So
right.
But I think sometimes that quietness that I've got, may stem from some of that.
Sure.
That I've still got some things that I need to wrestle with a little bit.
Well, it's the same. Listen, I'm the same way. There's probably a lot of things of that being goofy Vess all the time that I probably don't deal with, because sometimes when you sit by yourself and it's quiet, there's been some tough things happening in your life. You don't really want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So the best way to deal with it for me is laughter, acting like a lunatic, and that's just what we do to not have to deal with those things sometimes. But I don't know. I sometimes wish I had grown up in this time where you can talk about stuff like that, because we just did.
Yeah. I just remember there was a situation where I was at my counselor's one time, and I was telling some Big Al stories, and I was dying laughing at him.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, "Why do you think that's funny?" And I was just like, "Wait a minute, because it is funny."
Right.
And I didn't understand that some of the stuff that he was saying was to other people didn't sound
right.
So that was my way of dealing with it, was through humor.
Yeah.
And it's still my way of dealing with it.
Same.
I can relate to that so much, being out and hey, we're gonna be back slapping, at the post office,
100%.
But then, sometimes I can get real quiet at the house.
You can. And is it, people, I've heard people say a lot of times, well, you don't want to put a front on. Well, I don't think that's a front. I think that's more coping for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be a quiet person. I don't want to not interact with people. You can be quiet and alone. And I feel for the people that get stuck in that and they have no other way but to do that.
Yeah.
I just think, I got blessed in some genes that had some goofy genes in there, and so it's easy for me to gravitate to. And I think you got that gene too.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But yeah, it's sometimes a covered up mechanism.
Yeah. All right, are we ready for this rapid? I'm so
You said 80s.
I'm so excited about our rapid fire.
Okay.
Okay, rapid fire 80s. Are you ready?
Okay.
I'm put my basketball.
Now listen, I've never done anything really rapidly. So
Okay, right. Okay. So we'll go slow
Yes.
afoot.
Yes.
Slow afoot.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. 80s style.
Yes.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Number one. I love this. White Snake or Journey?
Oh, Journey. No doubt.
Really?
Journey now. Listen to Journey now.
That was kind of a joke. I mean, of course it's
Was it?
Journey. Of
Okay,
course it's
let's
Journey.
say, thank God breaks in radio.
Yeah. All right. Number two, Chevy IROC Z or Porsche 911?
Pontiac Grand Am,
Really?
because that's what I
That
want
wasn't
to
on the list.
And I had a literal sunroof, but dream car.
Your dream car.
What was it?
IROC Z or Porsche
It has to
911?
be the IROC Z. Let me tell you, there's a story, ring story, that when Rex Chapman, who I loved,
Yeah.
went to Kentucky, they bought him a blue IROC Z, and on the side it said IREX. I mean, of course it does. So yeah, it have to be the IREX. I have to have one that said IREX.
Was there ever a time in history where there were more like idols than the 80s? Think of, I mean, mine was Jose Canseco. We're
Have you
going
ever seen him
we're
in
going
person?
not really, but we're going on a big divergence here.
Sorry.
I think it's okay. It's okay. Right, it's not.
Okay.
But I mean, when he got the slit Oakleys,
Yes.
you know, I mean, it was over.
Yeah.
I mean,
Probably my worst athletic endeavor was I missed a foul ball from Jose Canseco when he played with the Huntsville Stars.
really,
Yeah, I was such a child. I just dodged down the way first. Don't hit me.
really.
I was like half a year old. No, I wasn't that young, but is it up there in Huntsville when he played with the Stars?
Now you said, have I ever met him?
Yeah.
Did you meet him?
No.
Okay.
That was close enough.
But you saw him?
I saw him play several times. But anyway, saw him.
Was he pumped up back then too? Yeah.
Johnny was born that way. He was born 6'4", like 270.
All right, here we go. Number three. This is a good one. Magnum PI
Oh,
or Miami Vice.
PI, no doubt.
Really?
I
Really?
mean, yeah, man. PI.
Have you looked at Don Johnson? I mean, you know,
He's still acting in movies. I saw something. He's how is he still?
He's the
But
man.
not everything.
He's the
Tom
man.
Selleck. Tom Selleck was cool.
yeah, yeah,
Any way you can, he would be a hit today with those shorts he had
Yeah.
on that were way up there.
yeah. Have you ever thought about growing a mustache like Sally?
It's all great.
Okay.
By the time I could grow one,
Yeah.
it would be really great. But I could color it.
You could just for a minute or grease and
I
form.
might do that during the season. I
Yeah.
might start the year off with a mustache.
Yeah.
That might be a little more stoic.
It could be. Right.
Stoic.
All right, here we go. This is kind of a dorky question, but Celtics or Lakers?
Oh, that's a tough question because there's a lot of dislike for both. But there's a lot of. I was talking to a guy today. Mia. Well, this isn't rapid fire. I'm doing more discussion. Neither. I'll go neither.
Okay.
I'll tell you the story.
Who'd you pull for?
Hawks because you can
Okay.
watch them on
Yeah.
TBS.
Yeah.
But like the Bulls, because at the time Jordan was coming up, they were god awful. But learned a lot from watching because that was on the game. You didn't see on TV.
Yeah.
It was Lakers Celtics.
Yeah.
Throw Detroit in there, but a little bit of both because I loved how the Lakers played.
Yeah.
But the Celtics would run too. But I think more.
You're more of an Ainge.
I think-
You're kind of an Ainge.
Yeah, I'd bite your ankle because I'm
Yeah.
Danny Ainge.
Yeah.
But I can relate to Danny Ainge, and I couldn't
Yeah.
relate. Bird. I mean, Magic was amazing.
Yeah.
Worthy, Jamal Wilkes. Those guys were like,
Yeah.
you can't. I could never do that stuff.
I was a Celtics guy.
Yeah. So I didn't like either.
Okay. All right. Here's a good one. Number 5, Sylvester Stallone or Schwarzenegger.
Stallone. To this day, I love Rocky movies. They're the greatest. Some of the greatest movies ever made was Rocky. And there's a new one coming out about a guy who's playing. The whole premise of the movie is they're showing what it was like when he wrote Rocky. It's called I Play Rocky.
Really?
Yeah, it's gonna be a cool movie.
Now,
Love Rocky.
have you seen Over the Top?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Terrible.
What? Really?
Because my dad drove a truck, so
Right.
it made me want to watch. You know, it wasn't.
Y'all
it wasn't
watch that
great.
tonight.
I might watch
Yeah.
it when I get home.
Yeah.
I'm watching Over the Top.
Yeah.
They'll really be happy we're watching Over the Top.
Invite your principal over, and he likes it too. Huge Over the
Oh,
Top.
you wait till I see him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a
Over the Top.
big bull.
Love Stallone though.
Big bull Hurley
Yeah.
fan. Yeah.
Look.
All right. Here we go. Now this is not an either or. This is a
Okay.
favorite video game.
Oh,
Favorite video game.
golly. You see, college days, it would have been Sega Genesis. It'd have been Madden.
Mm-hmm. Were you a big video game player?
Yeah, listen, I almost flunked out of University of Alabama from we had an RBI baseball. You remember RBI baseball?
Yeah.
We had me and my 3 roommates had a full 165 game season on the wall. You had to sit down and play series. This was serious.
Yeah.
So it's mostly sports things that I did with video games.
Yeah.
But it was never really basketball. I didn't really like the basketball video games.
Really?
It's always football and baseball and things like that. But yeah, we didn't have video games.
Did you do Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
I tried that. Yeah.
Did you beat it?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. But never. But no, we didn't have video games growing up. We were farm kids. So you got outside till dark, then you got outside and you're tired and you went to sleep. So not until I got to college, what are these contraptions? This is amazing.
Yeah.
But I love video games. I play them this day, but faith may change me, so I don't have one now. So.
All right, last one. This is a good one. This is a good one. Poster that was on your wall when you were a kid.
Okay.
Poster that was on your wall.
Just name one?
Yeah.
It's had to be anything Michael Jordan. I had tons of Michael Jordan, the Wings posters, where it's hoping and pumping the two. Yeah. It's mostly sports related. And listen, God love my mom. Like, our house was so put together. Like, you literally, my room was in the middle of the house, just in the middle of the house. There was our hallway was just probably from me to the camera. That's not a hallway. It's just the doorway. We call it hallway. So my mom had to walk through my bedroom to get to her room because it just built on part of the house. So poor lady had to walk through. I had probably 1 million posters. I mean, she had to go figure out, going, this is my life. Like, what am I doing? Like, I've got my whole wall, my kids' walls covered in posters, but she never said anything.
So you're a big Jordan fan.
Big Jordan fan. Yeah. I think Jordan influenced a lot of the things, which all our kids, just how hard he played. And, he wasn't going to quit and he wanted to win at all costs. And so I was a big Jordan fan. Yeah. Big Jordan fan. Yeah. Still not as big as Burns. Yeah. But I'm a pretty big Jordan fan.
Yeah. Well, man, this has been awesome.
Again, sorry about it.
No, you're good. You're good. It didn't need to be. But listen, all jokes aside, I am very happy for you, and I'm glad you and I've gotten to know each other. Absolutely. I know we didn't know each other that well when you came to Jasper, but it's always good seeing you, and I just wish you the very best this year.
It was awesome to be here. I love when I come over here and talk to you guys. Y'all are so awesome. Yeah. And everything y'all do is really good. So I know y'all are going to make me look really good.
Of course.
Appreciate it. But thank you so much.
Yeah. You're a class act, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.